And welcome, my beautiful people. A day that I've been waiting for a while is finally here. The PWHL has been added in to NHL 25. Now, I feel like the warning signs were there a little bit in regards to them adding this into the game. Of course, we knew, the announcement a couple weeks ago that it was being added in, which is really cool. I felt like the giveaway, which, for the record, I didn't know even through my affiliation that they were adding this in this year. I thought it was going to be next year, maybe even the year after, because it's EA and they're always late to some trends. But not this time. Not this time, which is really, really nice. But I feel like the dead giveaway was they were like, hey, we worked on the hair physics. I feel like that was a decent little giveaway. But yeah, the PWHL is in the game. Now, a lot of people, first things first here. A lot of people have made it quite clear on social media that they do not read, which is understandable, but they've made it clear that they don't read. There have been some people who've been like, wait a minute, they added in the PWHL, the jerseys aren't even in. Download the latest roster update today. Again, that is their way all the time of adding in new jerseys and all of that. It's been locked to roster updates for a very long time. The coaches were locked to roster updates as well. So yeah, make sure you get their what the hell's the date on this? The 3rd, I think. Yeah, the December 3rd roster. Make sure you get that one. Use this one. Definitely use that one. Speaking of custom rosters, though, of course, if you're on the Xbox side of things, make sure, of course, to use myself, Tactics, and Vassie's custom roster, the most recent version, V3, dropped earlier this week. It's phenomenal. The work was put in to get real coaches in, even though EA's been fucking up the real coaches. Like, even in this December 3rd update, Jim Montgomery still isn't the head coach of the Blues. It's kind of stupid, but there's that. But yeah, check that out if you haven't already, because that's the direction I'm going with roster editing this year, is working with those two instead of having the time. Like, I really don't have the time to put in the big effort this year individually. And worth mentioning too, the way I normally edit files are pretty much not possible this year in terms of like the super realistic stats. It just has to do with the formulas for editing rosters and stuff this year. So that sucks and I hate it. But yeah, hey, check out that file as well. Anyway, the PWHL, everybody, as that mentions, of course, Ultimate Team, they have cards in the game, they have the jerseys, all that fun stuff. They're available, the jerseys that is in World of Chell. But they also have their own little focused, spotlighted season mode, which we are going to check out. I thought they were just going to hide it in the other season mode, which again, it's easy to forget that this even exists. But you can do a full season in the AHL, the ECHL, Swedish League, Finnish League. Like, all these leagues are there in terms of doing an individual season with. Of course, they're not all tied into franchise mode, which kind of sucks. But it is pretty much that, but with its own spotlighted mode. The one thing that is a smidge disappointing about this is there's no section to edit anything in regards to the ratings. There's also no ability to even look at the lines from the typical edit line screen. It's just not there. So the only way to currently look at the lines is to go to Play Now, or once you're within the mode, to see what the hell that looks like. But who's willing to bet the Cup celebration's the Calder one? That would be my guess. I'm intrigued to see if it's not the case, though. But you do have... I need to get myself a Boston Fleet jersey. I really do. It's a sick one. Like I said, when a lot of the PWHL names were announced, I was not hyped at all for the vast majority of the names. But I feel like they did a good job with the branding, the team color schemes, and stuff like that. So that's pretty nice. Here, let me go over to the home side. And of course, I got to be honest, man. Minnesota Frost might have the best look in the PWHL right now. The color scheme's top tier, you know? It's top tier. But hello, hit the A button. Thank you. Then go to edit lines, because this is, again, the only way to properly look at the PWHL lines at the moment. Hello, Davis. How are you? How'd the stream go earlier? But, yeah, so for the Boston Fleets, I mean, Hannah Bilka's definitely up there. Hillary Knight, highest rated forward. It's not really a surprise that she is the highest rated forward on the team. No PWHL franchise. Correct. There is only the season mode. Only the season mode. God, I hope the Fleet do well this year. I gotta be honest, like, I've been very hyped up for the start of this PWHL season too. Like, I am more likely if they're streaming a game, because on the U.S. side, Canada, obviously it's on TV now. U.S. side, though, it's still available on YouTube. So if I'm likely to see a game on YouTube, I just immediately start watching it. So, but the Fleet, I mean, you got Hillary Knight. You got Megan Keller. That's all you need. That's all you need. A couple of players here and there don't have player pictures, unfortunately. And then in goal, Erin Frankel. But how usable is her card in Ultimate Team? She's only 5'5". I don't give a shit about Ultimate Team. Oh, it is still on YouTube in Canada? All right, I thought Rogers ruined that for everybody. How are you going to have Pishsova? Amanda as a healthy scratch. Amanda Pelkey. Dude, there's an embarrassment of riches. Now, the biggest thing here that we need to talk about is obviously the rule set is not going to accurately reflect what the PWHL currently does. Especially, it is not going to reflect the jailbreak rule that they added this year, which for those, again, who don't know, I haven't paid attention to the PWHL, if you score a shorthanded goal, your player gets out of the box, which I think is tremendous, along with a couple of other rules that they've added in. But Minnesota, I mean, Kendall Coyne, you might remember Kendall Coyne Schofield, who was, accurately fast as hell. Of course, she got that spotlight at the All-Star weekend. That was probably pre-COVID at this point. And Taylor Heisey, who was the first overall pick. I got to meet her in Seattle. She is very nice. And it was very fun getting to see fellow YouTuber one, Dino Krista, get to meet Taylor Heisey, because she was very excited. So it was very funny.
I'm just
Grace Winkle, best name. I mean, she is, though. She is. There's a couple of different ways I could think to say that name, but thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in. Yeah, Grace Winkle's a beast, though. What was it, like the first game of season 1, she scored a hat trick or something like that, or at least 2 goals. We won't talk about you. You're a weirdo, but that's okay. Lee Steckline on defense. Honestly, they've done a decent job handing out some of the abilities as well, at least to some of the key players. This only makes sense to YouTube game viewers, but hi, I'm the YouTube gal. Fair enough. There you go for the YouTube viewers. Maddie Rooney, 88 overall. Damn right. American hero, Maddie Rooney. I will say it's a little bit weird how they had to crop out some of the player pictures, just because it almost perfectly lines up with the white bar, but not all of them. Brooke Bryant, Katie Knoll, and May Batherson. The greatest Batherson in hockey. The best. One day we'll get a franchise mode to PWHL. Oh my God, I'd be so happy. That would be so damn fun. The Montreal victory, because damn it, I'm not saying it with a French accent. Again, their look is awesome too. Like I said, I think every PWHL team pretty much nailed it. With their look. Expansion too. I mean, normal franchise mode still needs like in-sim expansion options. Of course, they made Marie-Philippe Poulin absolutely dominant, as they should. I mean, I have to say that Hillary Knight is the greatest player of her era, but that might not be true. Laura Stacey's there too. Michaela Grant-Mentis. Montreal's got a damn good team, man. Yeah, damn good team. And her wife is also on the line. Yes, but at the same time, I don't feel like it's necessary to be like, hey, look, and did you know it's her wife? Like, I feel like people know. You know? Oh, defensively, Aaron Ambrose. God damn, they gave Caleb Barnes a 91 too. Sheesh. The Walter Cup celebration was mentioned already. I don't know what team to pick that might give us the best chance to actually win the damn thing. And Anne Renee Debier, 5'9". She's like an NHL Ben Bishop at 5'9". That's just not fair. That is just not fair. Nothing cracks me up more than once than that one dude tweeting at the beginning of last season, like, wait, I don't see her fiance. And everyone, yeah, because, I remember that tweet, and the responses were pretty much nothing but, lesbians exist, right? What happens first? PWHL gets a franchise mode. Oh, the TK's the first one. I'm not even going to mention the second one because it's not going to happen. The New York Sirens. A lot of people don't like their logo. I kind of like it. It's grown on me a bit. It's grown on me a little bit. Let's see what their lines look like here. Like I said, this is the only way to check outside of the specific mode. Jesse Eldridge, Alex Carpenter, and first overall pick, Sarah Fillier, who just got her first goal the other night. So, honestly, it's really, really nice. I remember, now, obviously, I haven't been doing the Tukey's Day podcast with Sin and Endo for this season. It's a combination of just being busy as hell, and my interest in the NHL not being quite what it was, just because there's always so much nonsense anyway. But we talked about it a lot in just regards of like, okay, can we please have like this proper, stable league? And it looks like the PWHL will finally be that. Let's hope. And Decor is pretty good. Maya Nyland Persson. Oh, goodness. And in goal, Corinne Schrader. Carpenter's underrated. I agree. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, most of these players are. Most of these players are at this point because it's that, lack of awareness for most people. The Ottawa Charge. I do kind of like the jerseys. I still don't know how I feel about the logo and the name. I still don't know. Might be my least favorite of the bunch. Sirens color scheme stinks. Yellow doesn't fit. Different strokes for different folks, right? Oh, Teresa Vanasova. I like how Ottawa is just like, if you're from Europe, get in here. Let's go. I mean, aside from like Emily Clark and Cheyenne Darkangelo. Despite Minnesota trying the best to work themselves. That's fair. Bring back the Buffalo Beauts. It's funny, right? Like because you had the PWF, and then before that, you had a couple of different leagues, and a lot of those leagues had pretty good branding, if we're being honest. Whether it be the Buffalo Beauts. I mean, I got to be honest, like, I don't mind the look of the Boston Fleet. However, I mean, I do have a Boston Pride jersey here, and I liked this look quite a lot. Old Captain Jillian Dempsey. So, give the logo some slack. It's hard when mom and dad are Calgary and Cleveland. That's fair. That is fair. Savannah Harmon, highest rated defender on the team. Well, I guess Ronja Savalainen's up there too. All right. Goaltender, Emerance Mashme. What a name, by the way. What a name. And Gwyneth. Not enough Gwyneths. It does have Brianne Jenner scratched by default, which is interesting. So you can't do franchise with PWHL, but it does have an available option in season mode. And then, Meg, I know you pay a lot of attention anyway to Ultimate Team. Obviously, it's involved in the Ultimate Team side of things as well. The Toronto Taylor Swifts. Let's go. Let's go. I mean, people make fun of it. I don't mind the look there either. Like I said, I think it's worked out pretty well. I think it has. Oh, good. Daryl Watts, Sarah Nurse. Also got to meet Sarah Nurse. Very, very nice, as you would expect. Got Blair Turnbull, the Septas. It's all about the Septas. Jesse Comfer, the best Comfer in hockey. Anna Miller. Oh, the fancy sticks. Dude, their center depth is nuts. Sheesh. Go for Sarah Nurse. Power forward, Sarah Nurse. Hell yeah. And then defensively, Jocelyn Rock. Renata Fast. No, not even silver wheels for the memes. Come on, EA. Not even silver wheels for the memes. And then Kristen Campbell and Reagan Kirk. You do custom league and import the rosters. I don't think so. We can check, though. Natalie Spooner, the best Spooner in hockey. I get to say as a Bruins fan. So again, you cannot edit anything in regards to the rosters. I, of course, check Carly Jackson and the mullet. I know that she saw that on social media as well. It was really funny. It was really funny. Oh, goodness. And then, of course, back to the Boston Fleet. But yeah, I'm pretty sure within franchise, there's basically nothing you can do. I was a healthy scratch 91. I don't know how they set up the lines or what the end date would have been for the particular lines. I have no idea. But yeah, franchise mode-wise, it's just not going to let anything happen for me. You made Black Bear correct. Yeah. So, like I said, even if you go... I should have gone... Well, no, maybe I shouldn't have... Yep, I should have gone the other way. It doesn't let you roll through. Hold on. Just for an example, right? Like, we know it's not going to work. It is basically all tied to that PWHL specific season mode. Yeah, if you try to sub out the Bruins or anything like that, it's not going to show up. So, there is that. There is that, unfortunately. I'm not really surprised. Like, my hope, obviously, for the future is that eventually the change happens and you get franchise mode to be expanded so that you could do, like, full-time, you know, if you want to do a Swedish Hockey League franchise instead of one season, then you should be able to. So, again, like I said, it's not factored into franchise at all. All we get right now is this straightforward season. I don't know what the difference between standard and full control is, so let's just put it on full control, I guess. You can fantasy draft it, though, so that's not too bad. Highest rated team by default is Montreal. I do want to see what that cup celebration's like. And if it is the AHL one, full control equals every team. Honestly, you might be right. Especially because, here. Hey, Sergachev, you're right. Cool. So yeah, let's just pick every team then. And that way I can for sure see what the Walter Cup celebration looks like. Look at the big brain on Sergachev. Look at you. Look at you. I don't think we have to worry too much about that. It's also funny that it keeps computer trades on. Like I said, in terms of the rules, it doesn't fully replicate the PWHL product at the moment. I hope they will change that in the future, but I'm not holding my breath. Like I said, whether or not it's the jailbreak rule or the rule of if somebody takes a penalty, the 4 skaters they were on the ice with have to stay on the ice. Like, it would be really nice to see them implement those strategies into the game just to give users a different experience anyway. Like, if I want to use those rules in the NHL, I should be able to use those rules, you know? But if we go player movement, yeah, from this screen, it's literally just like, hey, because I'm controlling all the teams. But what we'll do, so we'll look at the edit lines since we can control every team here. And yeah, we'll just go best lines across the board. The jailbreak rules international. Yes, but they haven't added it in despite it being an international play. So my hope is because the PWHL might be a bit more important to them than those Euro leagues. It's the truth. That you might eventually see the change. But yeah, Boston's top line. I mean, if you go best lines, looks pretty good. They love to give Hillary Knight that gold off the rush. Every time. Just slap shots from everywhere with Hillary Knight. Oh, man. Emma Greco. I mean, again, we obviously just looked through this, but let's just go best lines really quickly. So Minnesota, best lines, Coyne, Heisey, and Kelly Panic. Runs Grayson Winkle at center. Okay. Montreal keeps the top line together. So I'm intrigued to see if Montreal wins it, given that it has them as the highest rated team in the game. So obviously, like, will this be something where it's like, oh my God, the replayability is off the charts? No. I think for most people, you know, they will be looking at this as like, yeah, I might check it out, or like, oh, okay, it's kind of cool that it's an ultimate team, or you can use the jerseys in NHL. The thing I'll say is it's a start, you know. In a general sense, I do think while NHL 25 is far from perfect, you guys know this, I am not going to sit here and vehemently defend this game as being perfection. You know this. Oh, man. I need to turn off the injuries. The game has gotten better since launch, which is what a lot of people wanted, right? Because especially, what was it, 2 years ago? With NHL 23, there was no post-launch support whatsoever. So, but yeah, I want to see what that cup celebration looks like. And obviously, they don't have the licenses for all the arenas. Although, so with PWHL Boston, or with the Fleet, they play at the Tsonga Center in Lowell. I'm not surprised they don't have the rights, but Minnesota should be playing in XL. They do have Coca-Cola Coliseum in for the Leafs, or for the Scepters, which isn't surprising given that the Marlies play there. So it was already in the game. Ottawa Arena for the Charge. That one surprises me because, I mean, it is the home of the 67s, but I guess they wouldn't have the license to put that one in the game either. Guess it makes sense. And then Ottawa Arena, and then the Scepters, Coca-Cola Coliseum, yeah. So, I want to check with Minnesota. It's got to sim to their next home game here. I want to see. Okay, so they do play at XL. Okay. Actually, really quickly. Really quickly. Does it change anything? I highly doubt it. But does it change anything in terms of the arena look? It shouldn't, but you never know. It might. I just want to know. Okay, good. It is just flat out XL Energy Center with the PWHL branding at center. Okay. All right. Oh shit! Yeah, no, we don't need to have telebroadcasts from all the other franchise stuff. Missing the Walter Cup banner that lives there now. That's fair. That is fair. In fairness, let's not talk about EA and stadiums missing banners. This game has some horrifically outdated arenas in terms of aesthetics. It drives me insane. It shouldn't, because it isn't that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. But they might have fixed Florida, but Minnesota as well has the banners, the team banner. Like, there have been a lot of arenas where it's like, hey, we got a banner for every team in the league. And like the Florida Panthers had their logo that they ditched nearly a decade ago, still there in those stadiums. It was ridiculous. But very, very quick regular season. Of course, 30 games. Let's see how the sim played out. The only non-playoff teams are Boston and Montreal. In fairness, the points were really close. Montreal and Boston both missed out on tiebreaker. But so much for Montreal being the highest rated team. So it'll be Toronto, Minnesota, New York, and Ottawa, I presume. So a new champion. Dude, the offense for Toronto was insane. Sheesh. 14 more goals. Boston had the worst defense / goaltending. Ugh. Wish we had more retro jerseys. Me too. It's never a bad thing. Entire league. Natalie Spooner. I don't understand why they have like every team's jersey from 06-07. So that would be because in 06-07 essentially is when we got the switch over to Reebok. or right around that time at least. So you had like, hey, it's already in the database, all these sets of jerseys, let's just leave them because we still have the rights to them. And then, oh, okay, let's add in all the jerseys through the Reebok era and then the Adidas era. I'm intrigued to see if the Adidas era jerseys start disappearing. Obviously for this year, they haven't, but yeah, a lot of it comes down to laziness, licensing, combination of the bunch. But Natalie Spooner, league leading scorer. Renata Fast was second in the league in points as a defenseman. Jesus. I mean, it makes sense, but god damn. Brianne Jenner was up there. Sarah Nurse. It takes a little bit for things to load over. And I don't know why. Carpenter on 27 points. Top goal scorer had to have been Natalie Spooner, right? Yeah, 17 goals. You had Laura Stacey up there. Hillary Knight. It drops off a little bit. Maureen Murphy. Emily Clark. Brianne Jenner. Grace Winkle. Jocelyn Larocque. Top in assists, Renata Fast and Alex Carpenter. Okay. Obviously, defensively, we know who would have been up there for scoring. It was Fast, but then Megan Keller, Claire Thompson, and winningest goaltender, Nicole Hensley, Amaranthe Maschmeyer, Reagan Kirk, shutout leader. I mean, two. It's not bad. I'm a little bit surprised they weren't a bit higher. And then top save percentage for a starter was Reagan Kirk. So yeah, this Toronto team was ridiculous. It doesn't appear to properly be tracking rookies. That's a bit annoying, but worth pointing out. But all right, like I said, I want to see what this championship celebration looks like. And if it is the AHL. Oh, cool. Okay, so they do have the opponent select. Please give that to us as an option in custom league franchises. Please. I didn't think they were going to add that in. That's nice. So obviously it is a rule in the PWHL. Number one seed can choose who they want to play between the 3 and the 4. Let's play. I mean, it's got to be Toronto versus Ottawa. It's got to be. It's got to be. And it mentioned Minnesota being in there, too. Interesting. So, let's take a look. So, it is Toronto, Ottawa, New York, and Minnesota. Really, Minnesota made it. It must have reorganized. It must have reorganized the standings. Let me double check that. If I can hit the right damn button. Mae Batson grew up in my hometown. Pretty cool. She made it. So, is she on the rest? She is in the game, yes. She is indeed. So I guess at the end of the season... Oh, that's right. No, Minnesota was ahead of Montreal. That was my confusion. Yeah, never mind. They were there the first time. Losing my mind. Losing my mind. All right, let's see who wins this. And you do have NYC at the Prudential Center, so that's good too. Let's see. 1-1 split. 2-1 Minnesota. And it will be Ottawa versus Minnesota. All right. All right. Gonna lurk for a bit. Glad I stopped by. I am glad you stopped by as well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see if Minnesota can win it here. Or not. Minnesota lost. I lied. I lied. It is the Sirens in Ottawa. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. Well, it is 2-1 in favor of Ottawa, so we got to see if Ottawa is going to win this damn thing. See, New York up 2-0. Downey Landry, Alex Carpenter. 3-2 Ottawa. Jesus. Well, hey, at least Ottawa finally has a good hockey team. Am I right? Am I right? It's about time. Brianne Jenner makes it 4-2. Yeah, they're going to win this thing. Fair enough. So there you go. Spoiler alert. Ottawa is going to win the thing. They're really going to win the thing. A New York team playing in New Jersey instead of New York sounds familiar, right? Give me that computer. Actually, just in case, It is the Stanley Cup celebration for the Walter Cup. Let me go coach mode for the Charge. That way, if that is the case, we would have the ability to determine who gets the cup next. I do have the sneaking suspicion that it is going to be the AHL celebration, which was the former Stanley Cup celebration. But we'll see. Charge on a 4-minute power play. Jesus. Okay. Okay. Yeah, who knows? Maybe this is the start of something really solid with the PWHL inclusion in the game. Yeah, granted, you look at a game like NBA, which has a much bigger budget, much more resources, but they have essentially made it so that the WNBA features, oh my god, that the WNBA features in the game could essentially be their own video game at this point. They just leave it in the NBA for a variety of reasons. I'd argue nearly key amongst them is exposure. York pulls the goalie. So, NHL 25 points up now with updated rosters. We'll see. Glad you're enjoying. The Ottawa Charge are going to win the Walter Cup this year. You've heard it here first. You've heard it here first. Yeah, am I holding my breath that like the PWHL could get to that point in terms of being established within the NHL games? Not necessarily. But it is something for them to aim for, you know? It is only a positive for the sport of hockey as a whole. It's not to say that everybody needs to be like, hey, be super into the PWHL. Like, look, if it's not for you, it's not for you, whatever. But, and I'd like to think I'm preaching to the choir here and that nobody would be that type of shitbird to be like, oh, this league actually sucks and the talent level sucks in comment sections and nonsense like that. If you are one of those people, you're dumb and I don't like you. Because it is only a positive thing for a professional women's league to have that stability and to have a spotlight like this. So it is a positive. Roberta, probably. But again, NBA, the NBA games, I mean, aside from being like, hey, you can race go-karts now, at least they have put in the work to some other modes. At least they have. God damn. Fucking Vanasova bar down. Get shit on New York. There you go. Like I said, pay attention to the Ottawa Charge. I hate hockey. Small leagues suck. That's fair. That is fair. Hockey has people in it like, who do I want to throw under the bus? Who don't I like that isn't good for the sport of hockey? Who do I want to throw under the bus? I don't even know. Let's go with George Peros. Stealing a paycheck, George Peros. That was the first name that popped into my head. So how long do you got? I was going to say it's a long list. It's a real long list. Dude, Ottawa is all over them. I know it's a power play, but still. It was a major, too, as opposed to a double minor. It has Don Sweeney. Noted hockey terrorist Don Sweeney. Ooh, I just noticed, by the way. I need to see if I can edit players from the main menu, because it looks like... Now, this might be an EASHL as well. But the goalie masks. So they did add in new goalie masks as well for each team. Cool. I gotta see if those are available in full in the ASHL. Let's just take a trip down here. How many teams will the PWHL expand to eventually? That is a good question. Okay, that mask is sick. I don't even care. That mask is sick. So it's interesting, right? Because for a league like the PWHL, you don't necessarily... Roberta, thank you. You don't necessarily want to expand too quickly. I think it's going to be an argument of where the talent level is. You know, I think some people will say, hey, if you expand the league too quickly, you might like dilute the talent pool. But at the same time, it is the best way to grow the sport is to, in my opinion at least, is obviously to expand to markets where it's sustainable to keep the team, but then to also give, you know, women the opportunity, because outside of like, okay, the NWHL is there and the CWHL or the CHWL, whatever the hell it was. My standpoint has always been like, hopefully they don't grow it too fast. Like, just make sure it's stable. Just make sure the stability is there for the league, because they're really, like, you cannot have the next generation of players not have that stable league to play in, right? Like, it is a fucking shame that Hillary Knight and Marie-Philippe Poulin are already in their mid-30s. Like, that generation was failed. PWHL Master and creative player. Perfect. We'll look at him in a minute. It is a fucking shame that players of that caliber did not have a consistent place to play. But if this is in fact it, and what every side was fighting for works out, then we're good to go. Okay, Walter Cup champions, 4th time we've seen it. That's good. League can't fail. They do have extraordinary backing at this point. They do. It's tough to imagine a situation, but expanding too fast, too soon could cause problems. Holy shit, the next generation is going to be nuts. I mean, it should be. Sucks that Wickenheiser. Exactly. Well, yeah, the fact that you had Haley Wickenheiser, Cami Granato, players like that, not get to have a league with stability, you know? So no... Oh, no, okay, that is the MVP side of things with Hughes. Okay. It just cuts over. So it is... so yeah, no MVP presentation. And it is very similar to the AHL presentation. I think you were right about that. That doesn't surprise me. It is a bit disappointing. You don't have the ability to do the trophy handoff like you do in franchise with the Stanley Cup. At the same time, if I were to have told you yesterday, or asked you guys yesterday before this came out, what do you think the odds are they didn't even put a trophy presentation into the game? I think a lot of people would have been like, yeah, probably. So, is it the best trophy presentation there is? No. But at the end of the day, I don't know. Maybe that's just how they get me, right? With the argument of, well, it's better than nothing, and maybe I'm wrong for having that opinion. I don't know. Maybe I am. I'll be honest. Maybe I'm wrong for having that viewpoint. But, again, you get the one season. Unfortunately, like I said, for season modes, obviously you can play with every league in the game, basically, but it is what it is for now. Hopefully it is not the, okay, it's in the game, now fuck you, we're not going to talk about it anymore, we're not going to try to add a franchise version of it. Hopefully that changes in the future. I do want to take a look at those masks. I do. Let's take a look at those goalie masks. I'm here for it. I mean, I've always been a goalie gear nerd as well in some ways. So. Let's see. Standard mask, other leagues. Got the AHL masks. My guess is that the PWHL masks are towards the bottom because they're the most recent additions. It's right at the bottom. Yeah. Okay. Thank you again, Roberta. I had a hunch. All the way down. All the way down. All right, there we go. The Boston Fleet. Okay, that's pretty sick, too. That's pretty sick, too. See, that's what's frustrating about caring about, like, goalie masks in the game, at least if you play, like, goalie and Ishul or whatever, is you know that you have masks like Victoria's that hasn't been touched in 15 years, But when they do add in new masks, they typically look pretty good. So, you know. But yeah, Boston's. I like it a lot. Minnesota. Oh, dude. It's so good. It's so good. How long until Terrio is rocking that mask? On twitch.tv/Terrio. That's sick, dude. That's sick. Montreal. Okay, these are some of the best masks in the game. I gotta be honest. That is also sick as hell. Of course, we saw the New York one in-game. I also like this one a lot. We just saw Ottawa's in the game as well. That also looks pretty sweet. And then the Toronto Scepters. As busy as the logo is, I do like the gold cage, though. I do like that. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, dude, no, the art for the mask is pretty sweet, too. So again, PWHL is in the game. Is it like, holy hell, you could do everything you would have ever wanted with the PWHL in terms of the modes, or it's like, oh, you could take them into Be a Pro, whatever. Like, no, unfortunately not. Uh-oh. Am I going to get pricey pond hockey? No! Not doing it! Nope. PWHL! It's in the game. But I will not listen to pricey pond hockey to prove that you can't use them in Be a Pro.